coming up, the second coming. Alright, okay. Correction, the second Helix build. As you can see in front of you, I've started the second Helix build. You can see I've got the platform stuff on. Now what I wanted to first mention is, due to the fact that I did not want any outside supports on this one, I had to come up with a different method of putting the framework together, just to make sure that it was strong, it wasn't flexing. So what I'm going to do shortly is show you a bit of a small clip, just to run through to give you a bit of an idea of how the framework came together for this top section. Before we get to that clip, there was a few people that sort of asked why I was calling it the floating helix. Now, it's interesting, as I said in that video, technically it's not a floating helix. And one person was correct on Facebook where they said it was a cantilever type approach. And now that's true. Let's see if this sort of helps where my head is at the moment. So that's what I had in my head. You know, I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan, and you know, The Empire Strikes Back, Cloud City, that's what it sort of reminded me of, and that's why I was calling it the floating helix. Let's cross over to the clip and I'll show you how I put the top frame together. So as that clip has just shown you, that's how I was sort of joining the framework up top here, you know, and piece these cross beams, what you can see right in front of you right here, they will all join the same way. You can see the same joins on the end. I sort of brought them through and screwed them against the more heavier duty legs on it, just to give it a hell of a lot more strength and rigidity in the build. This helix will only have 4 tiers to it because I've already brought up the sub road bed up by 90 mil over there. It'll creep up a little bit higher once it gets to that point. Okay, as you can see here, I've got the sub road bed on the tier 1 already cut, and someone requested if I can show them on how I was actually doing that. Now I will do that on the next video. So you can see here, tier 1's in place. Obviously I still need to cut out the supports and raise it. I will go through that detail on the next video. So what I'm going to do now is show you putting on the wings, putting on the platform, a short clip, and let's cross over to that now. see at the bottom of that leg, I've actually started to fasten certain areas into the concrete, and so it's just not moving anywhere, which is really good, because basically I do need to still come back. You can see down here I've started to cut and reconfigure certain areas. There's still a bit of work to be done there, and I'll show you, hopefully I'll have that finished in the next video. But all this section down here, that one there and that needs to be cut out. You can see there again I've supported and anchored it to the concrete, and that side, and I have another one on this side as well. This whole section across here will be cut out, and I will put a full piece from this side over to there, and then it will join up with this one here, and then obviously I'll have support legs on the end of that. Now, there was some talk about, well, there were some questions about whether I was a carpenter. No, I'm not. I just love working with wood. See, it's quite neat there. So what I'm going to do is cross over and show you how I actually got those edges around the inside of the frame there with the top platform. So what's next with this one? So obviously I'm going to start cutting the supports to the tier 1 sub road bed. I will take this piece here, you can see here, this is my template. In the next video I'll show you how I cut these pieces out with the router. There'll be further work obviously down here to finish that off. I'm pretty close, but there's still a little bit left there to do. Continue with the track work there around and bring it up to the helix, because obviously once I get to this point right here, I won't be able to go any further until I bring the track work up and start laying the track around on the first tier before I can then start on the second one. So I've sort of gone ahead, cut this piece out. So all this area here, there'll be no structure in my way. Now, just on the other side, these two supporting beams here going across that support the weight on this side. Right now it's resting on this, but what I plan to do, I don't know if I can get under there. Let me have a look here. Yeah, so on this side over here, I'm going to put some supporting structure here against this, just to sort of help hold that weight, and that not everything's going to be weighted down on this section here. I'll just do a bit of a pass around it. Here's what it looks like underneath at the moment. So you can see here, I've got the ends all ready to go. Once the fascia goes on, I've got something to attach it to. It'll come down to there, but it'll be the full height of the helix. And I'll probably have holes cut around the outside. So maybe here I can sort of show you, for example, because I'm probably going to do the same on this one, is so the fascia, you know, it'll be up here and down past the bottom framework, and then possibly these sections here, not the full section, because there'll be, I want to make sure it looks quite even, but there'll be probably small manholes in each of these areas here with the fascia.